Good morning. Today I'll be talking to you about Union and its territories. That is part 1 of the Indian Constitution. We have seen already there are so many parts. We'll try to look into these parts first. So when I speak about the part 1 of the Constitution, kindly remember wherever we are using the word part, in every textbook of ours, we have certain chapters. And every chapter has got its own title. In the similar manner, so every part of the Indian Constitution has got its own title. And by looking at the title, we can understand what exactly is the content in this particular part. Look at this. This is Union and its territories. What do you mean by this? When I'm talking about this particular part, we are going to discuss articles. There are so many articles in the Constitution. But when we are speaking about part 1 of the Indian Constitution, articles 1, 2, 4 comes into picture. Article 1, 2, 3 and 4. By clubbing these 4 articles together, it is called part 1 of the Indian Constitution. And by reading at this, we'll be understanding what India is and what India comprises of. For example, see here, we understood and we know that there are 29 states and 7 union territories in India. But where exactly the Constitution has mentioned this? If we go through all the articles that are present in the Constitution, nowhere will be coming across with all the names and union territories of the states and UTs together. But if you want to find out where they are located, where the names are located, we'll be opening the schedules. We know that there are 12 schedules in the Constitution. Out of these 12, schedule number 1 speaks about the names of the states and union territories that are present in India. That is the reason when we are speaking about part 1 of the Indian Constitution, apart from knowing what is India, what India comprises of, we'll also come to know where the names of states and UTs are mentioned. UT means union territories. That is in the schedule number 1. Meaning, as and when we discuss the parts, we'll also be coming across with the schedules. So our preparation will be simultaneously completed. And the content that is present in the schedules is also important for us for the examination point of view. Now we'll try to open part 1 of the Indian Constitution and we'll try to see what exactly is this. For example, today in India, we know that there are 29 states and 7 union territories. But is it the same India that is present today, just like that of the India of 1947 or India of 1950? Let me speak more in terms of 1950. It is because the Constitution came into force in the year 1950. That's the reason if I open today's Constitution and if I look at the schedule number 1, I'll be looking at 29 names of the states and 7 union territories in the first schedules. But if I go back to the year 1956, and if I look at the Constitution of November 1st, 1956, the number was different. The number was 14 states and 6 union territories. This is the number by November 1st, 1956. If I still go back to the date of the commencement of the Constitution, the number of states and UTs, the number is different. During that time, all the states and union territories were divided into four categories in the constitution. They are called Part A, B, C, and D states. Today, if you open the schedule number 1, we'll come across all the names of the states in an alphabetical order. But if I go to the original constitution, all the states and UTs were divided into Part A, B, C, and D categories. And the total number that was present here, put together, was 29. So at the time, in Part A, B, and C, the states were mentioned. What are these states? I'll tell you later. The states were mentioned, and the number was 28. Plus, in Part D, one union territory was mentioned, that was Andaman and Nicobar. By clubbing all this, so we are getting the number 29. So from this number, it has been changed to 14 states and 6 union territories by November 1st, 1956. And over a period of time, there was a gradual change. And if you look at the today's constitution, we got 29 states and 7 union territories. What exactly is the meaning? The constitution has permitted for these changes. What do you mean by India? India is nothing but a group of states and union territories. Sometimes what happens, any area which is already not a part of the Indian Union, any area which is not a part of the Indian Union, it may become the part of Indian Union through the procedures that are prescribed in the constitution. Example, today if you look at Pondicherry, today we are using the word Puducherry, Goa, Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Sikkim. If you look at all these areas, originally they are not a part of the Indian Union. Over a period of time, they have been admitted into the Indian Union. Meaning the constitution has provided a mechanism where we can admit or we can establish new states into the Indian Union. Because the facility is available, we have admitted all these areas into the Indian Union over a period of time. Number one. For example, look at this. When the constitution came into force, there was no state like Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, rather for that matter, the so-called the Telangana. So it was called Hyderabad state, that was a different thing. But these names were not present in the first schedule. But over a period of time, by using certain provisions that are present in the constitution, some new states have been created. Meaning the constitution also mentioned about the procedure how we can create the new states. Everything is mentioned in the constitution. But which part of the constitution I should read to understand all these things? Once we read part 1 of the Indian constitution, whatever the points I told you, every point will become very, very clear to us. This is the basic idea. Am I clear? Are you following me? Meaning, once we start reading the part 1 of the Indian constitution, we are coming to know what is India, what is Union of India. Number 2, we are going to come to know where the names of the states and union territories are mentioned in the constitution. Number 3, we will also come to know how the new states are admitted, are established into the Indian Union. Number 4, we are also coming to know how to create new states. Recently, you have seen there was a state by name Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh has been bifurcated, and we created a new state called Telangana. How do you do it? That procedure is mentioned in the constitution. That procedure is mentioned in the first part 1 of the Indian constitution. We'll come to know all these points now itself. Next one. We are making certain changes in the constitution here. Whenever we are making certain changes, like here, Andhra Pradesh has been bifurcated, Telangana has been created. Hence, the name of Telangana should be added to the first schedule of the Indian Constitution, so that anybody who reads the first schedule will understand how many states are present. And whenever we are adding any name to the first schedule, obviously that is considered to be an amendment to the Constitution. Kindly remember this. It's considered to be an amendment to the Constitution. But should it be considered as an amendment with the special majority or an amendment with a simple majority? Kindly go back to our fundamentals. Sometime back I was telling you, Indian Constitution is both rigid and flexible. Rigid means it can be amended with the special majority. Flexible means it can be amended with a simple majority. And Indian Constitution is both. We have understood these points. Okay, now when it comes to the formation of the new states, should it be considered under rigidity or the flexibility? It will be considered as an amendment with the simple majority, because the formation of the new states that is mentioned in the part 1, that is mentioned in article number 3. If we are touching article number 368, which talks about the amendment procedure of the Indian Constitution, then only that will be considered as an amendment of the Constitution under article 368. There only will be using the special majority provision. Otherwise, we are using the simple majority provisions. Hence, if we create any new state, that will be considered as an amendment, and that particular amendment is a part of the flexible part of the Indian Constitution, because we are not touching article 368. These are all the points we are going to understand now. Okay, let me straight away. Of course, it is considered to be one of the very important topics, very frequently in both objective type and also descriptive type. We are going to get the questions. First, let us understand what is present in articles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then, after thoroughly understanding this, then we'll try to go for the analysis. What are the benefits of this? How the states are created? If the states are created, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? First of all, let's try to understand what exactly is mentioned in the Constitution. So according to me, after listening to this class, you need not refer to any book. You need not refer to any book. You can just understand what exactly are the constitutional provisions. Let me open the document now for you, and let us start the discussion now. Look at this. So we are talking about the union and its territories. And we have articles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, yeah. Now, first let me talk to you about article number 1. I have all the articles here with me. Is article number 2, article number 3, and article number 4 at the end I have. Okay, now let's try to understand one after the other. Follow me very clearly and very carefully. This is one important area. In fact, look at this. I told you already, in the Constitution we have articles, and apart from these articles, We also have the clauses and subclauses. While learning about the features of the Indian Constitution, we have understood that our Constitution is a detailed Constitution. Our constitutional framers tried to explain the Constitution of India in a very detailed manner so that there will not be any confusion in the future. That's the reason why we'll come across with the articles, clauses, and subclauses. So, whatever is possible for you to remember, you please remember up to that stage, right? And in the examination, especially in the civil services examination, if you can mention the number of the article, the clause and subclause, it is an added advantage to you so that some weightage will be increased for your answer and additional marks may be given to your answer. So that is one advantage. Hence, kindly remember the subclauses also. Let me open the document. I am coming here. Now, look at this. Article 1. If you look at this Article 1, here this is the Article 1. Okay. And in this one, I have some clauses here. So whatever I have written in the brackets here, clause 1, if you look at clause 2, it here clause 3. So these are the clauses. And again here, Article 1, clause 1, clause 2, clause 3. Again in the clause 3, if you can still look at here, I got A, B, and C here, if you can remember. And if you look at this ABC, these are considered to be subclauses, meaning Article 1, Clause 3, Subclause A. Article 1, Clause 3, Subclause B. Article 1, Clause 3, Subclause C. Kindly remember, okay? But instead of saying so lengthily every time, we'll just say 13A, 13B, 13C. Okay, kindly understand this. That is the reason why. So this knowing these points is very important. So tomorrow, if you read in the newspaper or any somewhere, so they'll be reading just like this: Article 13C, 13A, 13B. So it will be easier for you to understand. Now let us go by article, clause by clause. Let's try to understand. Now look at this. If you look at this Article 1, Clause 1, it is saying very clearly India. Because we are talking about India, we are talking about our own constitution, that is called Constitution of India. And in the beginning itself, they try to say what exactly India is. Look at this. Article 1, Clause 1 says that India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. What do you mean by this? When I am talking about union of states, what is the meaning? Let's see it. But otherwise, why? So we know what is the name of our nation. So then the name of the nation is India, and the traditional name, the ancient name of the country is Bharat. At the time of the discussion in the Constituent Assembly, the members were discussing what name of the nation has to be used in the Constitution. Some of the members, they said that because India is a modern name, India is known as India in the entire world, hence the word India has to be used. But some people argue that because the traditional name is Bharat, we should use the word Bharat. And out of compromise later, India and Bharat both have been used in the Constitution. That is the reason why we got both the terms India, that is Bharat. Very, very important. Meaning these two words have been used in the Constitution to identify the name of the nation. Am I clear? That is the only reason here. But if you look at this article further, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. What do you mean by this union? Kindly see here, sometime back I was telling you India is considered to be a federation, but the word federation is nowhere mentioned in the constitution. It was a deliberate attempt that the word federation has not been mentioned in the constitution. If you use the word federation in the constitution, you have to divide the power completely between the central government and the state governments. But otherwise, we already understood that India is a federation with a strong centers. The constitution itself has provided a mechanism where central government will become more powerful when compared to the state governments. It was a deliberate attempt that was given by the Constitution of India. But if I use the word federation in the Constitution, central government can't become more powerful, and each state will also become equally powerful. That's the reason why deliberately we have not used the word federation. But instead of that one, we used the word union of states. Whenever we are using the word union, the government at the highest level is considered to be very, very stronger than the governments at the lower level. Lower level means at the state level. That is the reason why whenever we use the word Union of India, all the areas that are present in the country, all the states and union territories put together is called union. I cannot separate a country from India. I cannot separate any state from India, and I cannot call that as the Indian Union. That is the reason why, as per the Constitution of India, if any other area which is not already part of the Indian Union, if it wants to become the integral part of Indian Union, it is very much permitted. It is very much permitted through the procedures that are prescribed in the Constitution that area can be added. In the similar manner, if any state that is present in India wants to declare independence, is it possible? It is not possible because the Constitution has used the word union. In any state, in any part of the country, if such type of revolt will take place, central government will become more powerful and central government will try to curtail those activities. What happened with respect to Khalistan sometime back? The movement was suppressed. Yes, the central government takes the complete control and the movement has been suppressed. It happened because the constitution mentioned it as union. Am I clear? That's the reason why kindly remember India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. Internally, you can make any modifications. Internally, you can make any modifications. You can change the boundaries, no issues. But when it comes to the external modification, that is not at all permitted. Am I clear? Next. Go to the next line. We'll see some more points. Look at this. Now, the states and the territories thereof shall be as specified in the first schedule. Kindly look at this. I am talking to you about article number 1. I have just finished article 1, clause 1. I am talking to you about article 1, clause 2. And this clause 2 is saying that the states and the territories thereof be as specified in the first schedule. Meaning, this particular clause is telling me very clearly the names of the states and territories are mentioned in first schedule. It was a question even in UPSC for so many times, where the names of the states and union territories are mentioned. Kindly remember, the names are mentioned in schedule number 1 of the Indian Constitution. Okay. Anyway, I will show you the some questions later, but just remember this. Anything and everything may be a question in the examination. Now, Let me open the document once again for you. Look at this. So this is the Article 1, Clause 2. Now I am coming to Article 1, Clause 3. In that one, I have subclause A, subclause B, and subclause C. Look at this. When I am using the word, when I am using the word territory of India, what do you mean by territory of India? The Constitution has explained me very clearly. Territory of India is nothing but, look at this, the territories of the states. What do you mean by this? Whatever the area that you are calling as a state, that will become a part of territory of India. Okay, meaning whenever I am using the word union, that union comprises territory of India. And what exactly is present in the territory of India? Number one, all the territories of the states. Let it be any state that is present in India, it's a part of territory of India. Am I clear? Next, that is the reason why. So today I am able to say that we have 29 states. Look at this. When it comes to subclause B, the union territories specified in the first schedule. Very, 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 very important here. It is not just the territories of the states. Even the union territories specified in the first schedule will also comprise the so-called the territory of India. Look at the point what I have written in the brackets. In the original constitution, this clause B was not there, but it was added through the seventh amendment of the constitution in the year 1957. In the year 1956, I'm sorry. In the year 1956. What do you mean by this? When we talk about the, if you go back to this Article 1, Clause 2, this is talking about the states and the territories as mentioned in the first schedule. But when it comes to territory of India, they mention only one thing, the territories of the states. And if you go to see here, such other territories as may be acquired. What do you mean by this acquired? Acquired in the sense they have been taken from some other nations. For example, Puducherry has been acquired. There is a Pondicherry during that time, we call it. It has been acquired. So those areas are mentioned, but regarding the union territories, nothing was mentioned in the constitution. So in order to rectify this mistake, through the seventh amendment, subclause B also has been added. That's the reason today the territory of India for me is the all the states that are present in India, number one, all the union territories that are present in India, number two, and all other territories as may be acquired by the India. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C put together is called the territory of India. And I would like to highlight one thing again, that is nothing but subclause B was not originally present in the Indian Constitution. It has been added over a period of time. Through the seventh amendment, it was added. Just remember this. Hopefully, I'm clear. Kindly follow each and every point very clearly. Now look at this. I'm just giving a recap here. In this Article 1, we are trying to know about the what is the name of the nation that is given. It is given as both India and also as Bharat. Okay. Number 2, the names of the states and UTs are mentioned in, names of states and territories are mentioned in the first schedule of the Indian Constitution. But when I'm talking about the territory of India, the original constitution has mentioned that all the states put together and all the territories that are acquired by India is called the territory of India. But over a period of time, by amending the constitution, we also added one more clause. That is a subclause B in article number 1. Okay. Now, so according to this particular subclause here, even the union territories will also become the part of the territory of India. Am I clear? Very, very important one. So this is about the Article number 1 of the Indian Constitution. Kindly follow me very clearly and very carefully. This is how the Constitution has defined India. Okay, look at this. This. So we are talking about the Article number 2 of the Indian Constitution. Very, very simple one. Look at this. Parliament may by law admit into the Indian Union or establish new states on such terms and conditions. Kindly look at this one. Two words are given here, important words here. Number one is this particular word, that is admit, and number two is the establish. These two words have been given. And beside this, if you look at this, the new states, what do you mean by this? This particular article is telling that Parliament is empowered, that Parliament can permit the entry of a new area into the Indian Union, or the Parliament can establish new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. Meaning the Parliament has been completely empowered to admit the new states or to establish the new states. What do you mean by this? Very, very important here. Before I go further, I will give you some explanation. Kindly look at this one. Just one point for me here. If you look at this word, Parliament may by law. Wherever you are coming across with this Parliament may by law, I am talking something about the ordinary law. How the ordinary law will come into picture? You know the whole story here. We are introducing a bill, and the bill will go to either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Again, it will go to the second house, and after that, it will go to the President of India, and after that, it will become a law. We know this. This is the procedure. This act. Okay. So kindly remember, in the future classes also, very frequently we are going to come across with the words Parliament may by law. Okay. And whenever we use the word Parliament may by law, I am talking in terms of an ordinary bill we are introducing. And every point we understood regarding ordinary bill in class number 1, every point is applicable here. Hence, this bill can be introduced either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. After it is passed in both the houses of the parliament, it will go to the President of India, then it will become an act. Kindly remember this. Very, very, very important point. Okay. Now let me talk to you about the Parliament may by law admit into the Indian Union or establish new states. Clear? And here for me, I want you to understand this particular provision very clearly and very carefully. Now, let me come back to you and say regarding article number 2. When I'm speaking about the article number 2, this article is talking about the powers of the parliament. Powers of the parliament to admit the new states. What do you mean by this admit? We will always admit somebody who is not a member of our team. In the similar manner, if you look at the Union of India, that Union of India will comprises of certain areas, the states, the union territories. But if you want to acquire some other area which is already not a part of the Indian Union, kindly see here, we have the external boundary of India, and you know what is the shape of that. And if you want to add some other area into the Indian Union, which is not already a part of the nation, once it is added, just tell me whether the external boundaries will change or not. Yes, the external boundaries will change. That will be coming under the article number 2. At the same time, the number of the states or the number of the union territories is going to increase or not. Yes, it is going to be increased. For that reason, should I have to amend schedule number 1 or not? Yes, I need to amend the schedule number 1. Hopefully, you are following this. That's the reason why, under Article number 2, if the Parliament admits any new state into the Indian Union, certain changes are happening. Right? Our external boundaries are getting changed. At the same time, our schedule number 1 is also getting amended. But kindly remember, in this particular statement, Article number 2, nowhere I have used Article number 368. That is the reason why, if the Parliament wants to admit a new state into the Indian Union, that can be done through an ordinary law. That is the basic idea. Hopefully, I am clear. But when we added Pondicherry, so-called Puducherry, Goa, Dadra Nagar Haveli, or Daman Diu, or Sikkim, we have amended the constitution, then we have admitted them into the Indian Union. Why? I'll tell you after some time. But just at this stage, kindly remember, whatever I am going to do under Article number 2, that should not be considered as an amendment of the constitution under Article number 368, because this procedure is mentioned outside the purview of Article 368. And kindly remember, I am talking to you Article number 2. Very, 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 very important. Meaning, this is called the flexible part of the Indian Constitution, where the Constitution can be amended even with the simple majority. Am I clear? That is Article number 2. I'll give you so many examples after some time. Next, I'm going to the other point here. Look at this. Next. So this is how the ordinary law will be coming into picture. Next. So I'm going to talk about something about the part, sorry, Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. Let me just put it here. Yeah, now look at this. Again, you have come across with this. That is the Parliament may by law. What is the meaning of this? Look at this one. Just now I told you what is the meaning of Parliament may by law. And if you look at Article 3, Clause A, it is saying very clearly, Parliament may by law form a new state by separation of territory from any state, or by uniting two or more states, or parts of states, or by uniting any territory to a part of any state. This is the power of the Parliament with respect to the formation of the new states. And if you look at this B, the Parliament is empowered to increase the area of any state. I am talking about the geographical area. Physically, the area of the state is being increased. How it is being done, we'll see. Diminish the area of any state. Obviously, when you are increasing the area of any state, you are also reducing the area of other states. That is nothing but diminishing. Or it can alter the boundaries of any state, or it can also alter the name of any state. Every state has got its own name, but the state does not have any power to modify the name of the state. If you want to change or modify the name of the state, it is the responsibility, it is a function that can be done only by the Parliament, not by the state legislatures. Okay, now let me try to explain. So each and every point in a clear-cut manner. So this is about the Article number 3 of the Indian Constitution. Here under Article number 2, we have admitted the new states. And I told you already, by admitting the new state, so we are trying to modify or alter the external boundaries of the country. That is, the external shape of the country will be changed. But under Article number 3, we are making certain modifications within the territory of India, meaning the internal boundaries are going to be modified. For example, here, Sikkim was not a part of India, but Sikkim has been added to Indian Union. Hence, that is a modification in the external boundaries of the country. Obviously, the shape of the nation will be changed and the area of the nation is increased. But recently, we have created a state called Telangana, where this Telangana is present all these days. In fact, it is a part of the Andhra Pradesh. By using Article number 3 under the Constitution, we have divided. We have divided, that is a bifurcated Andhra Pradesh, and a new state called Telangana has been created. Now, can you please tell me, when we create a new state from the existing state, is it a modification in the external boundaries of the nation, or is it a modification of the internal boundaries of the nation? Kindly remember, it is a modification of the internal boundaries. I am not touching the external boundaries. External modification comes under article number 2. Internal modification comes under article number 3. That's it. Clear? That's the reason, if you look at this, whatever you call Uttarakhand, it was the part of Uttar Pradesh. Chhattisgarh, it was a part of Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh has been bifurcated and we created a state called Chhattisgarh. Jharkhand, part of Bihar. Through the procedure that is mentioned under article number 3, we have bifurcated Bihar and we have created Jharkhand. Jharkhand was part of India. Chhattisgarh was part of India. Uttarakhand was part of India. They were the part of states called Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Bihar. Hence, this is called the internal modifications of the boundaries. That is coming under article number 3. Am I clear? How are you going to do it? This can be done only through ordinary law. Simple. That's the reason why, by introducing an ordinary bill, by passing the bill with a simple majority in both the houses of the parliament, so we can create a new state. We can form a new state. Okay. Now, and the same article is also saying that the parliament can increase the area of any state and the parliament can diminish the area of any state. Diminishing means reducing the area of any state. What do you mean by this? For example, whatever I am going to tell you now, we are not going to create any new state. Rather, there may be certain boundary disputes between any two states or more than two states. During the time, in order to settle these disputes, the parliament may try to increase the area of one state by adding some area of the neighboring state to this state. How do you do it? You just cannot do this by the notification, but it should be done only through a law. And whenever you are increasing the area of one state, obviously you are diminishing the area of the other states. This is another idea. Am I clear? At the same time, we are also talking in terms of the altering the boundaries of the existing state. What do you mean by altering? The boundaries of the states is being changed, where a state is giving away some of its land and taking some of its land. The boundary of the state is changing, but the overall geographical area will remain same. That is considered as the altering the boundaries. In the similar manner, if you look at the last point, altering the name of the existing state. Altering is nothing but modification of the name of the existing state. Again, how do you do it? A bill has to be introduced in the parliament. After that, once it is passed by both the houses with a simple majority, Then it will go to the President of India. Once the President of India signs it, then it will become a law that is considered to be the change of the name of a state. For example, look at this. When we commenced our constitution in January 1950, there was a state by name United Provinces. And in the same year, the name of the United Provinces has been changed to Uttar Pradesh. So today, whatever I am calling as Uttar Pradesh, that was originally called United Provinces. But by using article number 3, the name of the state has been changed. That is called altering the name of the state. Who did it? It was done by the parliament. How? Introduce a bill, pass a bill, then it is considered to be modification of the name of the state. For example, if you look at a state called Tamil Nadu, the name of the Tamil Nadu was originally Madras State. In the year 1969, by using the provisions under article number 3, the name of Madras has been changed to Tamil Nadu. Today, I have a state called Karnataka. Originally, it was called Mysore State. And by using the provisions of article number 3, we have changed the name to Karnataka State. Similarly, look at this. Uttaranchal, in fact, when it was created in the year 2000, the name of this area is called Uttaranchal. In the year 2007, the name has been changed to Uttarakhand. We are using the word Uttarakhand now. It happened because of the change that was made, and that initiative was taken and completed by the so-called the parliament. And recently we have seen there is a state by name Orissa. Now we are using the word Odisha. Again, this has been happened by using the provisions in the constitution. Okay, at the most what will happen is that the government at the state level will request the central government to modify the name. Request may be initiated at the state level, but if you really want to modify the name, it will be done only by the parliament and only by introducing the ordinary bills in the parliament, and by passing that one, you can alter this. So whatever I told you so far, everything will be coming under article number 3 of the Indian Constitution. Am I clear? Formation of the new states, increasing the boundary of a state, diminishing the boundary of a state, altering the boundaries of the states, and altering the names of the existing states. All these 5 will be coming under article number 3 of the Indian Constitution. That's the reason why, and kindly see here, whenever we are creating a new state, Andhra Pradesh has been bifurcated and we got Telangana today. For that reason, should I have to amend the schedule number 1 or not? Answer is yes. The schedule number 1 has to be amended, but that is amended with the simple majority and not through the special majority. Hopefully I'm clear. Now I'll go to the next one. Now look at this. How exactly the parliament is doing all these things. We have some point here. Look at this. One important point. Now, whatever I am going to talk to you now, so this is the whole procedure I am going to talk to you now. But at the end of this, you kindly see, this is added through the 5th amendment in the year 1955. Meaning, whatever I am going to talk to you now, originally it is not a part of the Indian Constitution. It has been added through the 5th amendment. What is this? Let's try to understand. Kindly remember, I am going to talk to you regarding article number 3 only. What is the content of article number 3? We have understood in a very, very clear manner. Now let us see. Look at this. provided that no bill for the purpose shall be introduced in either houses of the parliament except on the recommendation of the president. What do you mean by this? Before 1955, if you want to do anything under Article number 3, it can be decided and directly it can be done by the government of the day. But a new provision or new condition has been created in the constitution saying that if you want to do anything under Article number 3, same thing can be done by introducing the bill in either house of the parliament except on the recommendation of the president of India. Meaning, no bill under Article number 3 can be introduced in the parliament without the recommendation of the president. Meaning, if you want to create a new state or anything under Article 3, the bill has to be introduced in the parliament with the prior permission of the president. This is a simple meaning here. And unless where the proposal contained in the bill affects the area, boundaries, or the name of any of the states, the bill has been referred by the president to the legislature of the state of that state for expressing its view. What is the meaning of this? We are going to alter the boundaries. Say, for example I'm telling you. So we are going to form a new state, and for that reason, either you are adding two different areas or you are bifurcating the existing area. I'll tell you the examples later. Yeah, but just remember, imagine a situation you are going to create a new state by bifurcating the existing state. I'll just give you the latest example. In this year only, we have created a new state called Telangana. So it was a long pending demand. If you look at this Telangana, it has been bifurcated out of this a state called Andhra Pradesh. But the question is that how exactly Andhra Pradesh state was created and how this Telangana became the part of Andhra Pradesh. In order to understand this one, we need to go back to the years where we got the independence. In the year 1947, when we got the independence, there was a state by name Madras state. I told you already. And today's Andhra Pradesh I'm talking about, which consists of 13 districts. Originally, it is a part of Madras state. But when the British was present in India, during that time itself, there is a demand from this Telugu speaking people that they wanted to get bifurcated from Madras so that they will have their own state. But the British did not concede, and finally we got the independence. And after that, Indian government has been formed in India, and the Telugu speaking people from Madras, they have intensified their state, and there was so much of pressure on the government for the formulation of the new state. Later in the year 1953, by using the provisions under Article number 3, Telugu speaking area has been bifurcated from the Madras state. Meaning, by dividing Madras state, we have created a new state called Andhra state. It happened in the year 1953. Meaning, Madras has been bifurcated, we got Andhra state. And when the Andhra state was created, at the time, there was another state that was existing that was called Hyderabad state. And Hyderabad state is also dominated by the Telugu speaking people. Later, there was an agreement between the political parties in these two states, Andhra state and Hyderabad state. They have decided that Telugu speaking people should have only one state. Accordingly, the request was sent to the central government. Accordingly, they introduced a bill and passed a bill, and two different states have been merged. One is the Andhra state, second one is the Hyderabad state. By merging these two, it has been made as Andhra Pradesh state. What do you understand by this? I can understand by this, we can form a new state. We can create a new state either by dividing the existing state, or we can create a new state by adding two different states together. That is the basic idea. Am I clear? And during that time, there were no special powers that are given to the President of India. But later, a provision has been added. Whenever you want to perform any of these activities here, the bill can be introduced in either house of the parliament only with the prior permission of the president. And what the president shall do? And the president will refer the bill. President refers the bill to the concerned state legislatures. If you remember this one, when Telangana state was created, the bill was first drafted by the cabinet, central cabinet. Before the bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the bill was sent to the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee. And the President of India has forwarded the bill to the Andhra Pradesh state legislature because Andhra Pradesh state is going to be affected by this particular formation of a new state. Hence, the state legislature is permitted to express its views within the time specified by the President of India. The President may say 20 days, 40 days, 6 months, or anything. That all depends on the interest of the President of India, again on the advice that is given by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Originally, it was not present. Later, it has been added to the Indian Constitution. Okay, kindly remember, this bill can be introduced only with the prior permission of the president, and the president will be forwarding, right, this particular bill to the state legislature for expressing its views thereon within such period as may be specified in the reference, or with such further period as the president may allow, and the period so specified or allowed has expired. Kindly remember this. Here, the mere expression of the views of the states is mentioned, but whether these expression of the views are binding on the president or not is not explained. Because they have not said it is binding, hence it is not binding on the President of India. Meaning, at the ultimate stage, if the central government decides, if the parliament decides to form a new state, it can form a new state. Is it okay? And whatever I am showing it to you on the screen, this particular paragraph, originally it was not a part of the Indian Constitution. It has been added through the 5th Amendment of 1955. Okay. Of course, some explanation is also given here. Just a simple point. You can have a look at this. In this Article 3, in clauses A to E, state includes a union territory. But in the provision, state does not include a union territory. Simple. Next, explanation 2. The power conferred on Parliament by Clause A includes the power to form a new state or union territory by uniting a part of any state or union territory to any other state or union territory. Meaning is simple. The Parliament is empowered to formulate not just a new state, it also empowered to form a union territory also. Okay, hopefully I'm clear. Right, let me come back to you onto the screen for a moment and let me explain you certain things. Kindly remember, we are talking about the union and its territories, where I spoke to you already 3 articles, Article 1, 2, and 3. Article 1 is speaking something about the nation, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. And Article 2 is talking about the altering the external boundaries of the Union of India. And Article 3 is talking about the formation of the new states, through which I am modifying the internal boundaries of the states. And what are the powers of the President of India in this case? I told you already. Kindly remember 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm coming to Article number 4 of the Indian Constitution. Now look at this. See, I told you already, whatever we are doing under Article number 2 and Article number 3 should not be considered as an amendment of the Constitution. Now look at this. Look at this. This is the Article 4, where I have Article 4 Clause 1 and Article 4 Clause 2. Just remember this one. I told you already, it should not be considered as an amendment. Look at this. Any law referred to in Article 2 or Article 3. Important, meaning Article 4 is referring to both Article 2 and Article 3. Shall contain such provisions for the amendment of the first schedule and the fourth schedules. Meaning is simple. If we are touching Article 2 and Article 3, we are automatically amending the first schedule and the fourth schedules, as may be necessary to give effect to the provisions of the law, and may also contain such supplemental, incidental, and consequential provisions, including the provisions as to representation in Parliament and in the state legislature or legislatures of the state or states affected by such law as Parliament may deem necessary. What do you mean by this? Under Article number 2 and 3, if I am admitting a new state or establishing a new state or creating a new state, we are changing certain things in the first schedule and the fourth schedule. First schedule is nothing but the name is being added or deleted. That is nothing but an amendment. In the similar manner, so we are talking about the fourth schedule, which talks about the allocation of the seats in Rajya Sabha from the states. Every state is represented in the Rajya Sabha. And how many seats should be allocated for each state in the Rajya Sabha is mentioned in schedule number 4. So accordingly, you are making the changes in this law. Obviously, what will happen? You will also have the representation in the parliament and also in the state legislatures. Accordingly, the parliament can also change the number from time to time. That is what is mentioned under Article number 4. Meaning, in the simplest terms, if I do something under Article number 2 or Article number 3, we are going to amend Schedule 1 and Schedule 4. Okay, now the last part. Come here. No such law as aforesaid shall be deemed to be an amendment of this Constitution for the purpose of Article 368. That's it. That is important point for me. Meaning is simple. We are making certain changes in the Constitution. That is nothing but we are making some amendments in the Constitution. But Article 4 Clause 2 is telling me very clearly, whatever you are doing with the above laws here, no such law, no, that what is important for me, no such law aforesaid. Aforesaid means it is said before, shall be deemed to be an amendment of this Constitution for the purpose of Article 368. That's the reason why I tell you, when we create a new state or establish a new state, that should not be considered as an amendment under Article number 368. That is the basic idea with respect to the part 1 of the Indian Constitution, where I have explained you what is Article 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is the end of the part 1 of the Indian Constitution. But in tomorrow's class, again, I will explain you the same topic with examples. With examples, I'll give it to you. I'll show you various points that are related to this. And I will also show you what happened when we have acquired Puducherry, when we have added Goa, Daman, Diu, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, and Sikkim. What are the issues during that time? And what are the questions that were asked in the previous examination? Those things I am going to show it to you tomorrow. Okay, so for today, kindly revise this topic once again. Very, very important. Both subjective type of questions and objective type of questions are coming in the are appearing in the examination. Okay, be very careful with this. This is the beginning of our parts, and slowly we'll be touching each and every part and we'll be going ahead. And whatever the sequence that is given by the constitution, we are following the same sequence and we are going article by article. Again, I'm repeating, this is right. So you need to be very serious, rather more serious from now onwards. This is the high time. So you need to concentrate more on the examination. More you listen, more you understand, so the more concepts you will be developing. So that will be helpful for various other areas also. I already told you, right? Now, so for today, let me stop it here. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. Have a very, very good Sunday and see you tomorrow morning at the same time. Thank you so much.